Do you know why most coaching and consulting business struggle to scale their business? You see, most coaches and consultants think it's one of two things. They either think that it's a lack of leads and prospects entering their funnel, or they think it's a lack of qualified people to help them out within their business. In other words, to do the work they're doing. In actual fact, it comes down to their business model. Ultimately, the way I like to look at coaching consulting businesses is in four different stages. And I'm going to take you through these four stages at the moment so that you can see where you're at the moment and ultimately what it takes you to get to the next level. Because ultimately, most coaches and consultants that start a business want to have that time freedom and freedom to just work on the business rather than in the business all the time, which is where most coaches and consultants get stuck. So let's dive in and just step you through the four different phases. So ultimately, where most coaches and consultants start is the time-based coaching and consulting model. In other words, you find a handful of clients, maybe it's even one or two, that are ultimately going to pay you on an hourly basis or a day rate to consult into their business. You could be management consulting, IT consulting, whatever it might be, but you have got a unique skill set and they get you in to use that skill set, and you've determined that they're going to pay you an hourly rate. So in other words, this significantly limits the time of what you can actually do to grow your business because you're contracted per hour into someone else's business. In order to move to that next step, which we call the project-based consulting phase, you need to develop the trust with the prospects. So within your clients, sorry. So in other words, once you've got that trust there, then you can say, rather than me consulting on an hourly rate or a day rate, I'm going to deliver this project for you in 4 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it might be. So that way you can actually, within this model, start to get other people in to do little pieces of work. Ultimately, everything still comes back to you and you're the key person that's driving the outcomes for the project. But ultimately, there's stuff there that you can farm out and you're not attached to that hourly rate as much. So that's the next step. So if you can get to that, that's a starting point for you to then go, okay, how can I then move to that next level? That next level is where you've got a clear niche, you've got a clear understanding of their problems, and you've developed a clear value and outcome-based consulting model to a particular audience so that you can say, I can deliver X outcome to you within 6 months, and my firm is now going to do this for you. This is where you can significantly step back from the delivery model and delivery of the product or service and you can get someone in to do a lot of that for you because ultimately you're still guiding that key outcome or focus or value that you're delivering. The final stage is now that you understand what your market wants, who your market is, you can then productize this. In other words, you can create software, you can create a program, you can sell what's more of a product to someone as opposed to selling the consulting services. Sometimes you can add on consulting to that product, but ultimately, if you can package up and productize your consulting, that's going to give you enormous scale because ultimately a lot of the heavy lifting is done through the product that you create. So each one of these stages has their time for you as a business owner. But ultimately, the further right that you can move within this model, the less time that you're actually going to be committing to an actual client. And you get clearer and clearer on the outcome that you can deliver for someone, which ultimately means you can actually spend less time delivering the product or service to someone, and you can focus on getting better results as well. So it's a win-win for everyone. The faster you can move through this process, the further right that you can be, you can actually spend less time, you're going to be able to scale more, and you get better outcomes for clients.